I'll share the screen, and then for the rest of the part also, I will have to share the screen and we'll go through NCERT. We will also in today's class discuss all the take-home assignments that I have given till now, out of which I have the most regularly I have received from Rabia, and then yeah, I think Iram and Aisha, have you sent assignments back, the take-home assignments that you get?
So,
Yes, yes.
so my portal isn't working.
Oh, your portal, like to upload the assignment, isn't working.
No, like after editing the class,
Okay,
11th grade assignments are coming there.
I see. So you're not receiving the assignments, the 12th assignment.
Yes.
Have you told,
Yes, I've raised this issue.
and did you get any answer back from the team as of yet? Because it shouldn't be delayed, because I have sent quite significant number of assignments. So the idea is you should get those assignments on time. So it's Iram, right? Let me write it down. I will also raise from mine. And it's not happening since you have not received any assignment. So the
No,
fault
sir.
is right since the beginning, right? Your portal. Okay. Okay, we'll figure out what has to be done for your portal. And Aisha, you are you receiving assignments?
Yes, sir. I've sent it to the team.
You have sent to the team. Some of, how many you have sent to the team? Again, do you have any approximate number?
I've sent 3 till now.
3, right? Because okay, I have received 2 of them, I guess. Okay, cool. I'll talk to them. So any question or anything that you found? So okay, let me again tell you. So all the questions that I give you in take-home assignments, I don't know if they mention or not, but all of them are the previous year's question that has come in boards. Do you also get the years marked with the question when you get the questions? For
Yes,
example,
sir.
Yes, sir.
2015 All India, CBSE, things like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you must have realized that the way we discuss in the class, sometimes there is slight change in the language of asking the question, but the question is exactly pointing to the same concept or topic that we discuss, right? And also in future, it's possible that they might tweak the language a little bit, but you know what they're asking about. So anyone found any difficulty in any of the questions you have solved till now? Because our idea is that you continuously keep solving these previous year's questions. We should, most of the institutions or classes keep a test series at the end where you solve these questions. We will also do that, but that should not just be limited to the end of the year, once in a go. It should be continuous throughout the year is what is the plan. So instead of giving you some random questions when we are studying the topic, we think that giving you the exact questions that has come from that topic will be beneficial. So anyone has any difficulty in any of the questions till now in the assignments?
So,
Yes, Ravi.
in that recent assignment about reproductive health problems and strategies, I did not get the 5th question.
Can you read the question?
Yes, sir. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, please. So you read the question and I'll just type the question here. We'll discuss it. Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, Rabia, please tell me the question.
Yeah, so this fifth question is a bit of a case-based question. There's B bit in the question. It said
Wait.
it's asked.
Wait. I think yes, I have the question.
Yeah.
Stop sharing this. Yeah, you read the question. I'll figure it out. Read the question, please.
Yes, sir. List any two indicators that indicate a reproductively healthy society. I did not get the question properly.
Yes, I think you're talking about. The question is, I'll just read this question. Wait. I'll just paste the question on the main screen so that we all can understand. So these kind of questions are very easy scorers, and you should know how to just solve it. They are not very difficult at all, and sometimes you can write intelligently and you will just score full marks. So is my screen still shared with you? Can you all see the screen that I'm sharing?
No, sir.
Okay. Now can you see the screen that I'm
Yes,
sharing?
sir.
Hello, Mariam. How are you? Mariam just joined in. How are you, Mariam? So, Mariam, we are discussing. Mariam, are you receiving assignments on time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have also received some. I think you have sent couple of assignments back after solving. But did you receive all? Because I think you joined a little late.
Yes, sir, I received all.
But you have received all the assignments, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think this is the question that we're talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
Just okay. I realized I can do it or what? Oh, give me 1 second, people. Can you read the question, everyone? Now I think you can read the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can anyone please read this question for all of us? Yeah. How about you, Rabia? Since you raised the question, start. Can you read the question?
Oh, okay, sir. Reproductive health and child care (RCH) programs are currently in operation. One of the major tasks of these programs is to create awareness amongst people who are about the wide range of reproduction related aspects, as this is important and essential for building a reproductively healthy society. First, A, providing sex education in schools is one of the ways to meet this goal. Give 4 points in support of your opinion regarding this statement. B, list any two indicators that indicate a reproductively healthy society.
Yes. So the question is quite simple. First of all, too much of information sometimes is too, it's overwhelming, but you don't have to get confused with that. Reproductive and child health care programs are run in almost every country, every democratic or government-based country, and they're just giving you an information. It is not with respect to anything special with just Indian program or any other country's program, but one of the major tasks of these programs, whether they are running anywhere, is to create our awareness. Okay, awareness for reproduction related aspects, which means family planning, childbirth, health of the mother before the childbirth, health of the mother after parturition, neonatal health, which means the health of the newborn baby. Everything is covered in these programs. Okay, so you don't have to know details of what this program covers, but just focus on part A and B. Providing sex education in school is one of the ways to meet this goal. Now, this is what I started the chapter with. I asked you a question that why are we studying this? Okay, so sex education is the education through which we can know about the sexuality, the gender, biology behind different uh, biological sexes existing in humans, and how to understand how it works, and then respect the opposite gender. So when they ask you these kind of questions, they are free bounty points for you. You have to be morally correct and answer. So give 4 points in support of your opinion regarding this statement. You can give more than 4. So what will be the 4 points you would like to give in support of this opinion that providing sex education in schools is one of the ways to meet this goal? Do you agree that teaching school kids like you about sexuality, biology of gender, and reproductive organs is a good thing and will help when you grow up and begin to start your family, so you will have the right knowledge from in the right manner through the right portal, or not? Do you think it's helpful?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why do you think it's helpful? Why do you think providing sex education in schools is helpful? First point you can always write is that providing sex education in schools is a way of um, making the students aware at an age where when they are about to reach sexual maturity. So class 9, 10th, 11, 12, these 4 years of your life is mostly the time when you reach, like you are in the prime of your adolescent, right? And all these hormonal changes that we read in books, or all these reproductive maturity that we read in books, is actually happening inside the body, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the time where you will be the most curious of what's happening. And if you do not get a proper portal to answer your questions, then you're not just going to sit and never try to get the answers. A curious mind always tries to find answer. And as I told you, there are many ways to get information. Not all the ways are morally correct or good. So we need to develop plans of education in schools through which we can provide proper and correct sex education. This is your first point, that proper and correct sex education to adolescents can be provided through sex education in schools. Second is, it helps the adolescents, it helps the students to know what's correct at this point and what's normal for their physiology to feel like and what's not normal for their physiology to feel like, so that they know whom to talk, where to go, what to do if certain kind of things they are experiencing. Okay. Third thing is, early education helps in a better family planning later on in life, correct? So that actually fulfills the whole agenda of reproductive and child health care programs which are run by government. We want all our citizens to be informed of their rights, informed of what is right, what is wrong, so that informed of why amniocentesis is banned, but what parts of what aspect of it is not banned. You can still go and get your fetus tested for Down syndrome, chromosomal abnormalities, genetic disorders like thalassemia, hemophilia, etc. But you cannot get its gender tested. That is illegal. Okay. So all these information, plus when you're planning a family, what are contraceptives? So the knowledge of contraception, how does it work? How it should be used properly and not misused? What are the side effects? Which is the ideal contraceptive? Which is not the ideal contraceptive? All this knowledge is important in family planning. That And also reproductive health, which means how to avoid STDs. That also comes under this reproductive and child healthcare program. So again, knowing which contraceptive prevents STDs and which do not is very important, right? Cool. And fourth point you can write is that it. What do you think? What is the other benefit? So first is it's important that education gets through a proper channel, which is schools are the best way. Second, it makes you aware at an early age of reproduction related issues, and adolescents are going through these changes. So it's also important for them to know it. Third, early knowledge, early education helps in family planning later on. And fourth, when all these three things are happening correct, then you can keep writing. Then in next 20, in one generation, 20 years, 30 years, we will see that the maternal mortality rate and the fetal mortality rate and cases of female feticide all will go down, correct? So the societal aspect is that these problems will also be tackled by providing education to the upcoming generation. Because all those who are not educated, the generation that still believes in uneducated, rudimentary rules and laws are going to perish, right? They're not going to live forever. The next upcoming generation needs to be educated so that they can bring a change. Make sense to all of you? So you see that it is not a biology question. It is not a question which is testing your knowledge of biology. And it's a free 5 point marks in exam. Okay, make sense?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Aisha, you were saying something?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's come to the part B. List any two indicators that indicate a reproductively healthy society. So what do you think? If I just go to any random place, any random city, and I'm given the job, let's say I'm the officer, I'm given the job to figure out if it's a reproductively healthy society, what should I look for? What do you think? If you are given that job, what will you look for?
And there are.
Yes, there are. So this is the question, in other words. This can come. Yes. Keep giving points. What are the signs of a reproductively healthy society? So let's say you have to do it in your society, your locality. What things you will look, what data you will gather to say that it is a reproductively healthy society? Come on, think through, people. Yes, someone is saying something. First thing, if a society is reproductively healthy, you will go to the hospitals and figure out in that region what is the MMR or FMR. What is MMR and FMR?
Maternal mortality rates.
Yes. And
Fetal mortality rate.
yes, fetal mortality rate also, you can say infant mortality rate, IMR. So MMR and IMR should be low. So if in any country, any district, any state, you know that you have data that maternal mortality rate is very, very low. Mothers don't die during deliveries, or infants don't die just after the birth. It is a sign. Is it a sign of a reproductively healthy society? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is first. What is the second sign that you will think is an indicator of reproductively healthy society?
Less spread of STDs.
Perfect. Cases of STDs and RTIs, right? So if this is low, it again tells that the society is reproductively healthy. Make sense or not?
Yes, sir.
So these could be two signs. We can figure out more signs. Anyone? What is the third sign of a reproductively healthy society? So IMR, MMR is very low. Cases of STDs, RTI should be low. What else? Let's say IMR is low, but premature deliveries are occurring too much. So babies are getting delivered very often in 7th month, 8th month. Do you think that's also an indicator?
Yes.
Yeah. So low premature delivery cases. And anything else? If everything is correct in a society, if people are not biased against male and female kids, if they are not killing female in fetuses in the womb or after the birth, premature deliveries are not happening, mothers are not dying, infants are not dying, STDs are not spreading, then what should be the gender ratio of a society? There should be a balanced sex ratio. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So for every 1,000 males, there should be 1,000 females. That's the ideal. Correct? If for every 1,000 males, there are 700 females, 800 females, which clearly tells, because see, the chances of any embryo becoming male or female is 50%. Yes or no? And it depends on the sperm. So sperm can either give X or Y. And that is a completely random. It should be a completely random event normally. So it's very unlikely that at a society level, there are certain reasons, there are certain factors due to which it has been seen that in families, sometimes a couple has more males than females child, right? It's possible. You might find your relatives are 4 brothers. Some of your relatives are 4 brothers and no sisters, right? And this does not mean that they killed the females or they did female infanticide or feticide. Even without doing anything, just by sheer chance, there were 4 males born and no female born. That can only happen at an individual level, because maybe the mother's physiology or the father's sperm has a certain bias, but that cannot happen as a whole for a society. It cannot happen that a whole society is only giving birth to males and not giving birth to females. So when you take the whole society in account, there should be a balanced sex ratio in the society if it is a reproductively healthy society. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So these are the 4 factors. The first 2 are the most important, and you can write 3 and 4 also. So if they ask you 2 factors, and if you write 3, you won't lose marks. But if you write 1, you will. So that's the thing. Okay. Anything else? Anyone would like to bring in any other point?
Sex awareness.
Yes, Iram, tell me. Iram
Sex
says
awareness.
awareness. Okay. Awareness regarding what? Contraception and sex education, right? Is high. So that is a reproductively healthy society. You are correct. This could be one point. So you understand what to write in these kinds of questions, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Anyone has any other doubts from the assignment, take home assignments till now? No? Shall we move forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me stop sharing this and I will share your NCRT chapter 4. Yeah. Oh. Which chapter is your reproductive health chapter? Sorry?
4.
4, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just one second. I think health. Yes. Let me share this. Can you all see the screen?
No, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir. It's visible.
okay. Yes, perfect. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think not to, where were we? I think we did both natural and artificial. We did till IUDs, right? In the last class.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt in IUDs or anything?
No,
Oh,
sir. No
yes, it
doubt.
has. You have examples. Yes, with just a certain LNG20. Please remember these examples. Okay, so let's today talk about other methods. And I already told you in the last class, that IUDs are the most widely acceptable and accepted and used methods of contraception in India, especially in the rural India, because this is a very long term. You can delay a long term pregnancy or you can space children, and it is a very effective tool for family planning and population control. So this population control drive, which were run by the governments through these medical health programs, used IUDs. Okay, because you just put it once and you are done for a very long time, and it's reversible as well. So let me ask you all a question from the last class. What are the in see Characteristics of a good contraceptive. An
It should
ideal
be user
contraceptive.
friendly.
Perfect. Keep
Least side effect.
perfect. User friendly, least side effects. Anyone
It should
else?
have low cost. It should be
Low.
easily available.
Yes, easily available. Economically, it should have very low cost. Yes.
No side
And
effect.
least side effects or no side effects. Yes. You all are
Reversible.
forgetting reversible. Yes. But you all are forgetting one very important thing.
Should be effective.
Sorry, what, Aisha?
It should be effective.
It should be
Effective.
effective. Yes, that's the most important aspect, because I told you in the natural methods, every section can be tick marked, but natural methods, so natural methods have least side effect, they have low cost, easily accessible, user friendly, because all you have to do is, you have to avoid uh, coitus during some period. So avoidance method check marks all the bullet points, but except for one, which is effectiveness. It has the highest risk of failure, so it is least effective. That's why it's not ideal. The first thing that you should write always is it should be most effective or almost 100% effective. If it is 99% effective, then we say that it's less than ideal. If it's 95% effective, it's good, but it's still not ideal. Let me tell you, for now, I think apart from IUDs, none other are, and condoms to some extent now, none other have effectiveness beyond 95%. Okay? But 95% is good, way good than chance event. So effectiveness comes first. And that's why let's come to this last part, which is second last part, which is called oral administration. So until now, either you see that there are drugs that are taken, drug releasing IUDs that are put inside, or there were uh, these kind of devices that are inserted, right? Or condoms again, which are devices that are worn. But the latest ones are oral administration pills, which basically contains either progesterone or progestogen or estrogen. Okay, the word gen, progesterone means the active hormone. Now you would like to write in your copies, wherever the word gen come with any enzyme, like it's the gen, sorry, with any hormone. Gen means inactive form, which is not biologically active till now. So it will now go into the system and become active. So pepsinogen, you remember this word pepsinogen? Anyone remembers pepsinogen? Trypsinogen, class 11, digestive
Is
system.
it in stomach? Enzymes in stomach?
Yes, these are digestive enzymes. Trypsinogen, pepsinogen, they are protein digesting enzymes, remember? So the cells of stomach secrete pepsinogen, then it comes in contact with acid in the stomach and become active to become pepsin. So pepsinogen becomes pepsin, trypsinogen becomes trypsin. Okay, similarly, estrogen works by getting activated, can become estradiol. Progestogen becomes progesterone. Do you understand that? The word gen? So whenever we are giving something from outside, orally or through injections, we give this form which goes inside the body and then gets activated by factors and then work. So oral administration pills contains either progestogens or estrogen or both in combination. Normally, pills are not containing estrogen alone. Either it's progestogen or progestogen estrogen combination. Okay. Now they are given in form of tablets. So they are called pills popularly. And the method is, pay attention to this part. Can anyone read quickly? The part which I've marked in blue. Aisha? Yeah, Iram, go ahead.
Pills have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, starting preferably with the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. After a gap of 7 days during which menstruation occurs, it has to be repeated in the same pattern till the female desire to prevent conception.
Right. So you understand that they have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, which means 3 weeks. First week in which bleeding occurs, so the first 7 days from the bleeding starts till the 7th day, you don't have to take the pill. First of all, why? Why do you think you don't have to take a pill in the first week? We are understanding the logic here. Because these are just facts to remember. If you understand it, it's a story in your head, so you don't have to mug up the facts. Why? It's not required to take it in the first 7 days.
Because anyways, fertilization will not occur during that time, right?
Perfect. Anyways, fertilization will not occur. There is no ovum. And even if sperms comes into the system, it's not going to fertilize anything. And plus all of them will die and everything is bleeding out, right? So it's the safest period in terms of fertilization not occurring. Perfect, Iram. Then why do you think once after this 7 days end, it has to be taken daily for a period of 21 days? So 21 plus 7 is 28. So one in a month, you have to daily take it for 21 days. Do you think that much of contraception is important? What does this tell you about these kind of pills? It tells you that these pills are effective even if you take it daily. On a daily basis, they prevent. So now read this. They inhibit ovulation and implantation, as well as they alter the quality of mucus to prevent entry of sperms. So these pills do 3 things together. One is they delay ovulation or they inhibit ovulation. So if there is no ovulation, there is no ovum present. So it does not matter how so many number of sperms come into the female tract, they will never find the ovum. Okay. Even if you delay it significantly, there is going to be a non-synchronization between sperm and ovum, and by the time ovum comes, sperms will be dead, and or you will just ovulate before bleeding phase. Exactly before bleeding phase. If you are not ovulating, if a female is not ovulating on 14th day, instead she is ovulating 7 days later on the 21st or 22nd day, then just within a few days, again the bleeding phase is going to start, right? Uterus will think that nothing is going to happen, so it will start breaking down, and that will prevent pregnancy. Does it make sense to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Second thing it does, along with inhibiting ovulation or delaying ovulation, is it makes the mucus which is present in the cervix and the vagina, mostly the cervix, which is the narrow region. There is a mucus present in that. It makes the mucus very thick in the cervix. So what is going to happen if the mucus is very thick in the cervix? Logically, can you just think what's going to happen? The sperms won't be able to swim fast enough or easily enough to get to the fallopian tube, correct? They will all get entangled and get stopped by that jelly-like mucus, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so exactly this happens when a female is pregnant. So when a female gets pregnant and the baby is developing inside, you will not like more sperms to just enter in the system. So the cervix get clogged and closed. It shuts by a thickening the mucus to prevent entry of anything. Now, so taking for 21 days is a lot of drug in the system. So, but we know that pills are very effective and they have very less side effects, and females have adopted it very fast. And throughout the world, it is a very, very popular mode of contraception. So recently, this question comes. This is an Indian, like Indian scientists developed this new oral contraceptive pill. It's called OCP, oral contraceptive pill, called Saheli. Saheli, you all know it's a Hindi word which means a female friend, right? It's a friend of a female. So it is once a week pill. So the point is, you don't have to take a pill every day and worry that if you miss a pill, if a female is planning to not have a child, the female is taking pill on a daily basis, but she forgot a pill one day, then she'll be worried. Okay, but you don't have to with this new pill, which is called once a week pill, and it has very few side effects and very high contraceptive value. Okay. So what do you think could have been done in this? Can you think of any way by which you can make a pill which you just have to take once a week with very few side effects and very high contraceptive value? What should be there in this pill? What can prevent pregnancy for sure? Progesterone. Okay.
High amount of.
High amount of progesterone. You are going to say the same thing, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So high amount of progesterone makes the uterus non-dynamic and hence hostile for implantation. It behaves like implantation has already happened, kind of. So no new implantation can happen. So that's why even if fertilization happens, there will not be an implantation. So they are not doing a lot of things together. So the other pills, which were to be taken daily, they were doing multiple things together. This Saheli, it just works on this concept that do not let implantation happens. Whatever happens, do not let it implant. They're not focusing on killing all the sperms. They're not focusing on thickening the mucus. They're not focusing on, other things, preventing the fertilization. They're just focusing on not letting it embed and not letting implantation happen. Because whatever happens, if implantation doesn't happen, there is no pregnancy. Do you all agree? Make sense? More logical, right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's the SOP of Saheli. So remember that and write it down. And the last method is implants. So just like females can take a pill and that pill goes. So whenever you take any woman takes any pill, it goes in the stomach. From the stomach, it has to go into the intestine, and from the intestine, it will be absorbed and it will go into the bloodstream. And then it will go to its target organ and act. Any drug that we take as a pill has the same mechanism. Now, do you know how many of you have taken a paracetamol in a fever?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you something interesting. Yes. Which one? Which one? Yes, Rabia has taken. Which one? What is it called?
Panadol.
Something. There is a number also in front of it. If you have noticed. Have you ever noticed? Either it's paracetamol 500, Dolo 650, paracetamol 650. Do you know about these numbers? Okay. If not, you will be becoming doctor, so you will pay attention to this point sooner or later. But let's just discuss this. What is the weight of a paracetamol tablet? Just roughly, not exact, but roughly. 1 gram? 1 gram it should be, right? So Aisha has a very interesting questions. But before that, we will just discuss. I'll come to this, Aisha, okay? But tell me, what is the weight of our average paracetamol tablet? 1 gram? 2 grams, something like that, right? Even if it, let's say, the smallest and it has 1 gram, but if you look at the any paracetamol tablet that you have at home, any company, if you look at the ingredients, it will says paracetamol IP or something, 500 mg, 500 milligram, which means there's only 500 milligram of paracetamol in this tablet, but the tablet is heavier than what it's written, the amount of drug that it contains. So what do you think the rest of it? Did you know this or not? How many of you did not know this? How many of you thought that the whole tablet is medicine? People, we are discussing something. If you're getting bored, then we can just come back to NCRT. If NCRT is more
Yeah, so
interesting than. Yeah, what?
no, I meant it. Yeah, I thought of the
The
entire
whole
tablet being medicine. Yeah.
medicine, right? So the entire tablet is not medicine. The medicine is mostly at the in the core of the tablet. Okay. And most of the outer layers, multiple outer layers of the tablet is a coating that prevents the drug which is inside from HCl present in our stomach. Most of the drugs which are not, targeted for stomach, if you have a drug which you want to target and act in the stomach, those will be differently made. But normally drugs like paracetamol and these hormone containing drugs, we don't want them to open in the stomach and let HCl destroy everything. Because if these drugs just open in the stomach, HCl will destroy everything, right? Most of the thing. So their efficiency will decrease. We want them to spend 4-5 hours in the stomach, but only release the drug or get exposed when they are in the intestine so that it can be absorbed in the bloodstream. So they are coated with a protective coating. That is where people who do not know this often take half a tablet. They break the tablet and take it, thinking that, okay, it's a big tablet, we don't need that much of an effect, so let's break it and take a tablet. That's not a good advised form. You take a lower dosage. If you don't want to take 600 mg of anything, there must be a 500 mg or a 200 mg or a 300 mg version also available. Take that. Don't break a 600 mg tablet and think that, oh, now I'm taking 300 mg of the drug, because you are exposing the drug. It will be exposed in your stomach and most of it will be destroyed. So the only effective thing will be just 50-20 mg. That is not going to help you. Does it make sense why we should not just break tablets and take it? Some people do even worse. They just crush the tablet, make a powder of it and take it with water. There is a reason they have been made in a tablet. Have you seen capsules? People take capsules the worst way. They just open the capsule and take whatever is inside. The outer layer of the capsule is a protective layer. It's very important. It protects the drug from being released in the stomach for 5-6 hours, and then it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker by the time it is in the stomach. And the moment it enters into the intestine, it then bursts and all the drug is released so that it can be absorbed through the intestines. So everything has a reason. There's a science behind it. On the similar science, we also figured out that either you can take contraceptive progestogens as pills, or in a combination with estrogen or alone, it can be used as injections or implants under the skin. So these implants look something like this. You all can see the figure. This small tube-like structure, can you see?
Yes, sir.
So it is like a pouch which has a permeable membrane like a capsules with lots of drug filled in. Okay, either in combination of progestogen and estrogen. And this is just a small incision is made in the skin and you just implant it under the skin. And they can just keep working for longer period, like months and years. So these implants, their mode of action is very slow and they just keep secreting a slow amount of progestogens or estrogen in the bloodstream continuously for months, depend on what is the size and what is the quantity this implant is holding. And it is again one time, for a very long time you are set. Female will be protected from pregnancy. But implants are not very popular because one thing is it needs to go inside a skin. So, and people are not they don't like this notion of anything implanted under their skin or things like that. Okay. Now with the advent of pills like Saheli and IUD is already present, it is less popular, but it is very effective. Okay. Great. Now there is something called emergency contraceptive. So till now, whatever we were talking about was a planned contraceptive. Like you already know that you have to avoid a pregnancy, hence you planned a contraceptive. But in many cases, there may be requirements of emergency contraceptives, not just for normal human usage, not just for normal family planning, also for medical purposes. Okay, especially in cases of assaults, sexual assaults against women, crime against women. These emergency contraceptives come into play a lot, and doctors administer these to prevent any unwanted pregnancy to the female. And in general also, emergency contraceptive must be taken within, ideally it should be taken within 24 to 48 hours, but at max it can be taken within 72 hours to prevent any pregnancy. And mostly it is the administration of progestogens, high dosage of progestogen, or again progestogen estrogen combination. In some cases it is done with IUDs. As I told you, in legal cases or in medical conditions where it's very important, this is administered and IUDs are inserted, and it is found to be very effective as emergency contraceptive. And yes, it's written also possibly pregnancy due to sexual assault or casual unprotected intercourse. The word rape is not in usage these days. It's not a good term to use, so we use sexual assault. Okay, cool. Everyone is clear? We are all on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But it also has some side effects, see, you are going against the normal biological rhythm, and you're it's not mine. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you're going against the normal biological rhythm, so there are certain things that can go wrong. So emergency contraceptives always have some side effects, and it can range from a simple vomiting, dizziness, to intense bleeding and pain, uterine pain, and very vigorous uterine contractions. So the symptoms can be less severe, could be milder, or it could be very severe. Okay, depending on female to female physiology. But a planned contraceptive is much smoother. It has less or almost no side effects. Now, so these all were natural, artificial, all included. They all were called reversible contraception. So anything that we have studied till now is reversible contraception, right? You can reverse it. Even if you put an implant in the skin, you take out the implant, it's reversible. Even if you're taking the pills, you stop taking the pills, you can again conceive. Even if you are taking injections, or if you are putting IUDs, you can just remove it, it becomes reversible. But there are some irreversible methods which are called sterilization. The word sterilization means from that point onward that human is not capable of reproducing, and like is not capable of, I should not say reproducing. The animal or the human may still be capable of copulation or sexual intercourse, but not reproduction. So those are surgical methods. The most common surgical methods are vasectomy and tubectomy. You can see on your screen, vasectomy, the words come, ectomy means cutting, okay? Cutting out, taking out. If you're cutting out vas deferens, it's called vasectomy. If you're cutting out fallopian tube, it's called tubectomy. These are surgical methods, of course, invasive. What doctors do is they just make a cut, fold the tube and tie a knot. Make a cut, fold the tube and tie a knot. Simple. So vas deferens, cut and tied. Okay. It's written tied and cut. I mean, it should be cut and tied. You cannot tie it before cutting it, but so these are irreversible methods. Once it's done, it's done. Now there are always vasectomy and tubectomy always were not popular, and people had myths about it. One of the myth is, so first question is, do you think it's an ideal method? Do you think it's an ideal contraceptive method? Aisha?
No.
No. Why? It is 100% effective. This is the only method which is 100% effective. You are for sure there will be no pregnancy. But why? Why still, instead of being 100% effective, it is still not an ideal method? Anyone? This was another
Because
question.
it's not reversible.
It is irreversible, right? So 100% effective but 0% irreversible again drops the score. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you will not score it 10 or 9. You will say, oh, so you have to be very, very careful. But for family planning, it is foolproof. Once a couple has, let's say, 3 kids, now 2 kids, now they don't want more, then they can go for it and they can stay assured for the rest of their lives of any unwanted pregnancy. Now the question is, do you think it will affect the normal procedure, the normal physiology of sexual activity or sexual intercourse? Because see, there is a cutting, you are tampering the reproductive system. So do you think there is going to be some effect on physiology? Some problems in sexual
there might be.
intercourse act? Yes, Hiram, what do you think? Why do you think there might be? What effects do you think there can be? Tell me. Because we are cutting this, what effect it might cause? Let's talk about vasectomy first. What effect it might cause?
I mean, it might cause some infection.
Infection. So yeah, so you mean that can only happen if the surgery is not sterile. That is true for any surgery, right? Then the people will not also go for liver, kidney surgeries, and any surgery can have infection if not done properly. But when surgeries are done, the first thing that they take proper care of is infection. Everything is sterile, heat killed, autoclaved. So surgeries are mostly infection proof if done properly. So let's not go with infection. But you're right, if not done properly, it can undergo infection. But let's say that part is taken care of. You went to a very good hospital. I'm talking about, even if everything is done properly, do you think there will be effect on the behavior, sexual drive? Because now no sperm can reach these glands. Here, no ovum can reach the ampulla isthmus junction and the uterus. It can be released. It will keep on forming and releasing, but it will not reach anywhere.
Yeah. So there won't be a release of hormones.
There won't be release of hormones. Okay. Why do you think there won't be release of hormones, bro? You mean there won't be release of hormones from the gonads, like ovaries and testes?
Yeah.
But what are we cutting? Where are hormones? What do hormones travel through?
Oh
Do
yeah, yeah.
hormone
They're
do hormones
ductlets.
sorry? Hormones are ductless, yes. So what they do travel through? How does a hormone from the brain goes to the gonad?
Through through
This one,
through bloodstream.
of course, through bloodstream, right? Bloodstream. Are we cutting any blood vessel here? No, right?
No.
No.
We are specifically cutting vas deferens and fallopian tube. Vas deferens is responsible for carrying what? Sperms. Everything is formed after this. So these glands here, bulbourethral, seminal vesicle, prostate, they made the semen. So semen will still be produced. It will not have any sperm in it. Hormones will still be produced by testes because hormones travel not through vas deferens but through other blood vessels, which we are not cutting. So there will still be hormonal production, secretion, and action in both the cases. Does the science make sense to you? This is a long-standing myth in society that vasectomy and tubectomy will decrease sexual urge, sexual vigor, or function of hormones and make a male less male, or make a female weaker, or will make a male weaker, or things like that. Those are all rubbish. We are just specifically cutting the connection that carries sperms from testes to the urethra, nothing else. So everything stays the same. Hormone, release, secretion, action, production of semen, everything, lubrication, alkalination of the urethra, erection of penis, everything stays the same. Similarly, in female, only the ovum is not reaching here. Everything stays the same. There will be menstrual cycle, there will be hormonal action, there will be changes in the uterine wall. Hormone from ovary will reach the uterus, hormone from brain will reach the ovary. Everything will happen normal. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So please read this paragraph for tubectomy and vasectomy. This part, okay? I'm giving you this as a homework. Just note it down. And then we'll come to MTP. We already discussed some bit of it already. So what do you think is MTP? Anyone? Just tell whatever we have discussed till now and we know. Rabia, would you like to talk about it?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to talk about MTP? What we already know about it? We have discussed it in some detail, not in great detail, but I have told you about this. You know anything about MTP?
It's the voluntary termination of pregnancy.
Mhm. Perfect. It's
Abortion, right?
voluntary. Yes, in it's called induced abortion. Abortion simply means that the fetus which was developing led to death and miscarriage, right? Abortion can be induced, abortion can be unintentional and just which is called miscarriage, unintentional, because of any problem that happened in the female body all of a sudden, or anything went wrong with the pregnancy, or some gene dysfunction and the fetus did not develop properly and instead died, All those are abortion. Induced abortion is called MTP, medical termination of pregnancy, and it's a legal procedure. So a lot of MTPs are performed every year, and which is important sometimes, and sometimes it is not because of any harm that can happen to the fetus or the mother, but it's very early in within the first month. So it is medically allowed that mothers can decide within the first 3-4 weeks if they want to keep their pregnancy or not. It's their right. Okay. In many countries have other opposite rights, like ban on MTPs. So once pregnancy is conceived, you're not allowed to abort it. But in the world, all over the world, if you see the data, 1 in every 5 pregnancies either are aborted due to medical reasons or due to family planning reasons. But they're all done early in the first month itself, when it's called MTP. And MTP plays a very important role in maintaining the population, but it is not meant for that purpose. You should not make MTP or abortion a method to control population. There are contraceptions for that. Use contraceptives to control population and birth, not MTP. Okay. So that's why many countries have rules that people should not start misusing MTP. And then there are ethical debates which will never be resolved, because like you can always, from a humanitarian perspective, through spiritual perspective, through many religious perspective, you can say that once a life is there in someone's womb, if you are killing the life, it's equivalent to committing a murder. So many societal setups see MTP as a bad thing, and hence it's not allowed. But biologically, it's very hard to define when will you call it a murder, because from that point of view, even eating an egg or eating a spinach is a murder, because it's a living system we are killing and we are eating. So there is a gray zone which all these debates go in. So biology comes up with a logical solution that, see, let's do one thing. If the pregnancy is going to be problematic for the female and it can be medically proven within the first 3 months, then legally the mother should have the right to abort it. Does it make sense? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if it is happening after the 3 months, then it should go through a proper legal procedure, and we should see what are the chances that mother will for sure be affected by this pregnancy, or the baby will be born deformed. And if you get enough evidences, then you can go for a court or a legal granted abortion later on. But that will be very rare and case to case basis. So that's the biology's stand on it, without bringing in all the moral and other societal angles. So MTPs are considered safe during the first trimester. Up to 12 weeks, it is safe. Second trimester and third trimester is very risky. Third trimester is almost as risky as, it increases the chances of maternal mortality rate. Okay. And MTP was misused big time when amniocentesis was allowed. So people used to go to doctors, do amniocentesis, and figure out, oh, if it's a female child and if the society is biased against female child, they will just go for MTP. So this is against, legal and moral rights. So to avoid such practices, what was done is, first amniocentesis was banned, and then they realized that, okay, we should not ban amniocentesis completely. Let's just ban the sex determination part of it. So if you go to Indian hospitals, you can actually say that we want amniocentesis to be done, and then they will give you a form. In that form, you have to tick what all you want to be checked. For example, Down syndrome, thalassemia, risk of hemophilia, risk of other genetic disorders, risk of color blindness, etc., etc. There will be a long column, and in that column, by default, there will be nothing for sex determination, sex of the child. So that option is not given in countries like India, and I think also in many countries in Middle East. So that's taken out, that's banned. But there are countries in Europe and US where female feticide is not a problem. You can legally get to know the sex of your child, and people, it's within their rights. People do that, and then they also in the West there is also a cultural ceremony which I also attended for one of my close friends' elder brother. Where they, if like, I think one person from the family knows the sex of the child, and then the parents are made to prick a balloon, and if blue things come down, it's a boy, and if pink things come down, it's a girl, right? So
Yes, sir.
that's a ceremony. They celebrate it. So it's again condition to condition, society to society basis. Where it is misused, it's banned. Where it is not misused, you can do it. Now you must be thinking that what if someone goes to US and get it done and come back? You can't do it. Only a US citizen in US can do amniocentesis to get to know the sex of the child, or at least a temporary visa holder can do that. You cannot just go on a trip and do that and come back to and misuse it. Okay, so there are many rules in place. So illegal abortions are prevented through that. STDs, I think we talked about in some detail. Now, one thing that I want you to do for STDs is write down this question. All these diseases, can you see these diseases here? Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and HIV and AIDS. Okay. For AIDS, you already know that HIV is the virus or the causative agent. Just write down, I want you to find the causative agent for rest of the other STDs and RTIs mentioned in your NCERT. Because their causative agents are not mentioned in NCERTs, but multiple times in the entrances, they have asked this. So you have to go and find. I'm giving you this as a homework. We will discuss in the next class, and I'll tell you the right answer. Like, I'll just cross check if any one of you has figured out a wrong causative agent or something. So for all these, you have to find the causative agent's name and whether that microbe is a virus, bacteria, protozoa, or what. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then this part is done. Yes, and this brings us to the last part of the chapter, which I will just briefly talk about today, but finish tomorrow, and then we'll go into genetics. Before we go into genetics, I want you to understand in your class, when did you read or got introduced to DNA and things in class 9th or 11th or 10th? I'm not sure. You know about DNA and stuff, people?
Yes, sir.
What is a DNA? What is a RNA? What is a gene?
Yeah, sir.
Right? Cool. So I would like you to go back and revise that before you come for the Wednesday class. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. What if you want to write, just write down what do I specifically want you to revise. I want you to revise the concept of DNA, gene, chromosome, and DNA, gene, chromosome, DNA and RNA also. DNA, RNA, gene, and chromosome. What are these things? These 4 things. And try to dig. Yes.
So are we not doing sexual reproduction in flowering plants?
Yeah, I was supposed to do that, but I think Mariam or someone asked, Aisha asked to go for genetics first. Am I
So I
correct?
was the one.
Who was the one? Iram.
Yeah.
You were the only one. Okay, so it's fine then. So should we go for plant reproduction first? It's up to you.
Yeah, it's actually okay.
See, whatever we start, we will do it in detail. So see, anyways, we have to spend time, right? And my goal is to prepare you for the final boards and your entrances. I can just course correct here and there, go to some other chapter, come back. That I can plan. That's my headache. You have to tell me which chapter democratically most of you want to study first. The best is, yes, tell me, Aisha.
The genetics, I feel like it's better.
Genetics. Iram, what would you like to go with?
Genetics.
Genetics. Mariam and Rabia. Genetics. Rabia.
Yes, sir, genetics.
Perfect. So we have 100% vote. So there's no question of conflict at all. So no problem. I think we can start with genetics because we already understand sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in plants is in concepts similar to animals, but in mechanism entirely different. So I can connect it also, like from here we can go to plant also very easily, and from here we can go to genetics also very easily, and then come back to do plant reproduction, sexual reproduction. Is that okay? Should we start with genetics first?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So therefore, I want you to go and read DNA, RNA, genes, and chromosome. These 4 things, but not just one-line definitions. Don't go to Wikipedia and write what is DNA, what is gene, what is RNA, what is chromosome. Try to dig a little detailed information of it from your textbooks, from your earlier syllabus, from your earlier classes. Now, so okay, so let's do one thing. Let's stop here for today, and let me brief you about infertility before I leave in a minute. So infertility is a very major problem. After studying everything about reproduction and reproductive health, a major concern in society is that increasing number of humans, both males and females, are becoming incapable of producing kids. Females are increasingly becoming incapable of conceiving a pregnancy. Males are increasingly becoming incapable of inseminating a female or fertilizing an ovum. And that's a global concern. Okay. There are many reasons behind it. People are researching why it's happening. Some of the reasons we will discuss in the next class. But infertility is a problem. And in many societies, including India, when sex education and education of sex determination genetics was not very popular, societies always used to blame females for any kind of infertility, not just for childbirth. That too we studied that childbirth, females were blamed. Females were also blamed for not giving a heir. Like from the king's time, if a female is not able to conceive, they will blame the female, that there's a problem in the female. That's why she's not able to bear a child, because they did not know that the problem could also be in the male. The infertility could also be because of the male not being able to fertilize the ovum, right? But now with logic, reason, and science, we know what is true. So to figure out like corrective measures, there are many assisted reproductive technologies called ART. A lot of questions, factual questions comes on this part, this paragraph that I have marked in blue. So this is what you have to read today, just after my class, the ART. Okay, write down and we'll discuss it next time. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
We'll
Yes,
discuss
sir.
it in a bit detail. And from here only, we will connect it to genetics and we'll go to the fundamental of genetics in the next class. So please read this, plus read DNA, RNA, chromosome, and genes. Okay.
Now,
So I'll
what
see.
about the doubt that I asked?
Yes, you have a. Oh, yes. Right. You asked a doubt. I'm so sorry. Yes, there was a question in the chat. Aisha has asked, this is you, Aisha, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Aisha's question is, since sperms only survive inside the female body for a certain period of time, why is it important that the pills have to be taken for 21 days? It's a very beautiful question, Aisha, and it pinpoints, it highlights to a very important aspect that you missed, is that it's true that sperm can only survive up to 48 to 72 hours. But when will sperm enter the system? You don't know, right?
Yes.
So it can, if it enters on day 10, it can be there till day 14. If it enters on day 11, it can be there for day 15. So that's also there, right? That's why throughout those 21 days, it's not like you know that. So let's say a couple had an unprotected sexual intercourse on day 10, they know for sure. So they, and it was unprotected, so they can go for an emergency contraceptive. But if you want to maintain a regular state of contraception, then you have to take these pills regularly.